So typically, guys, I tend to reload my own ammunition. However, this year it got real busy and I wasn't able to do that. So we were using this deer season XP ammunition, 150 grain 308. And I'll show you what it looks like here. And it's got a really big ballistic tip on it, and it's supposed to be a rapid expanding. Now, obviously, they made this for deer in our small town. I didn't have a whole lot of choices for factory ammunition. I didn't have no time to load. I typically load a bonded bullet or an interlock bullet for elk and whatnot, but this is what I had available to me in quantity because I needed her to go out and practice with them when she was shooting and whatnot. And this is the best that I could find. Unfortunately, I don't believe that this worked very well for elk. Yes, she did kill an elk, but I'll show you the results on the carcass here in a minute of what we got using this ammunition. Again, this is probably more basic, base for deer and whatnot, but for elk, I don't recommend it. But like I said, we'll take a look at the carcass and show you the results of shooting this with a 308 at roughly 50, 60 yards. All right, team. So this is the entrance side. This is the side that was standing when she took her shot. This leg is actually hung, obviously, because gravity pulled it down. And you can see I had to remove a lot of material here when we were skinning and cleaning this thing up, just because of a lot of the bloodshot. And I didn't get it all just because I couldn't dissect it. But even though she made a good shot, it's a little bit low. This leg here was actually up. You know, if it was standing, it would be up right in this area. So she held good behind the shoulder. She just dropped, you know, that shot about 4 or so inches, and it still went in and hit the bottom of the lung and the bottom of the heart and everything. But you can see that, unfortunately, where this diaphragm is, because the elk was also angled, this diaphragm right here, this big muscle, and obviously when you gut it, you take that away. That's what separates your intestines and your stomach and everything from your vital organ. So with the angle, she was able to get it into the top of the lungs and in to the bottom of the heart and whatnot. But unfortunately, it did clip a little bit of gut, and you can kind of see this here. And unfortunately, when that happens, you get gut, and the camera may not show very well, even though we rinsed and washed as best we can. This rib, these intercostal muscles here, still have a tint of gut on them in this back area. So unfortunately, that will be lost. But, you know, you can't always make the greatest shot. She did good, freehand shot. She did really well. But just kind of show you what those Winchester deer season did to this animal. Now, this offside, so this was the far side. You can see that that bullet penetrated here a little bit, but it also did not look like it exited, or I have not found an exit on the side of here. Maybe it just sealed itself back up. I'm not 100% sure. But matter of fact, you know what? I feel something right here. I feel something right there. Let me see if I can get that bullet out. I think that's the bullet. Yep. So that's the bullet right there. I'll get it cleaned up and take a better look. I just now realized that that was the bullet. And so it somehow traveled. Again, she was kind of quarter angled a little bit, and it could have deflected off of a rib or something and traveled down that way as well. So deflection could play a it looks like it mushroomed good. I don't know how much weight it retained. We'll try to look at that, but it's got a pretty decent mushroom. But you can see that all the shock that it has caused and bloodshot on this animal. So they probably do their job. Again, I don't know that I would use them on elk just because they do rapid expand. So maybe with that more mass, it just has so much energy dump at that close of a range too. This is kind of what you can, again, expect. And as I dissect this, I'll show you. Now, for me, this tends to be a problem because I've shot the Nosler bonded bullets. I've shot the Hornady interlock bullets, the AccuBond long range and whatnot. And those bonded bullets tend to hold together. They don't expand quite as rapidly, so it doesn't cause that big shock to the system, which causes bloodshot. Now that, for me, the reason why I don't like that, I'd rather have the deep penetration versus the rapid expanding. And that initial shock is because it causes a lot more bloodshot, therefore translates into more wasted meat. And I like the main part of my family why we hunt is for the meat. So you got to decide what is important to you. Again, it obviously did the job. You can see where it went through this cavity. This is the entrance wound here, and it traveled through and went into this here. It might have deflected again. She was angled just a hair. And then I found that bullet right here just now. So, and you can see that it took a little bit of gut with it. That discolorization right there is a little bit of that gut. So again, I don't know that we realized that she was angled like she was. So that might be part of the reason why the shot went a little south. But again, free-handed for her first elk with the excitement. I think she did a good job. The elk didn't suffer, went down. So anyway, I'm going to get to breaking the shoulder down. We'll see you guys here in a minute. So here's a comparison of the ammunition that we used on that elk hunt. As you can see, again, this is the Deer Season XP 150 grain 308. And on the back side here is the ballistic information. Give you guys a little more info of what's happening there, ballistics, as far as the muzzle velocity and your trajectory and your energy expected at those ranges. Okay, so this is what the bullet looks like. You can see here it's got a big giant polymer tip on it, and so that is what's supposed to aid in the rapid expansion of this bullet to do a big energy dump once it makes impact. And so, as I said before, I believe, I didn't range it, but I believe that we were roughly 50, 60 yards or so from that elk. And you can see how bad or how well this thing expanded at that range. Let's see here at 100 yards. It says that the muzzle energy is 2648. I'm assuming this is based on a 22-inch barrel. And that's what we have out of that rifle is a 22-inch barrel. So that's a lot of energy dumping. And with it being designed to expand rapidly and perform this way, you can expect it to also generate a lot of blood, a lot of trauma and whatnot. So let's see that here. I'm going to zero my scale out here. This is my powder measure scale. And let's see what we retained. It looks like we retained right at 100.9 grains. So we lost almost 50 grains of weight there. So I don't know how much the polymer tips themselves actually weigh, but again, you can see how much we lost on that. But you kind of expect at that close of a range, man, it's going to dump a lot of energy. You're going to get that massive blood trauma and everything in there. So, you know, you got to kind of pick and choose. I've shot deer and elk under 100 yards with bullets such as the Hornady Interlock boat tails. I used those for years. The Sierra Game King boat tails, I used those for years as well. And I've also used the Nosler AccuBonds. And I'm currently, with my long range rifles, a lot of my rifles, I am currently using the AccuBond long range for those, and those do real well. So I do have an elk hunt myself coming up, and my oldest daughter has one in December. So a little less than 2 months away is when that hunt starts. And I'm hoping to get some different ammo, hopefully reload for these guns. If not, I'll just buy some Remington Corlocks or something like that, or some Federals, and see how those do on it. But my primary goal with my elk hunt is to shoot one with my 45-70. So that's my goal. If not, I'm going to shoot the Model 88 if I can't get close enough with my 45-70. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, is going to shoot the Winchester Model 100, which is basically the brother to the Model 88. They made Model 88 first, and then they made the Model 100, which is basically a clone of it, but it's the semi-auto version of it. So they are kind of partners in that. So again, this is what you guys can see. This is what you can expect on an elk at that close of a range anyway. You can see real world ballistics here. how the bullet performed, how it stayed together versus ballistic gel. So we thank you guys for watching, and we hope to catch you in the next video. So after dissecting that elk and watching the path that it took, once I pulled the arm and the shoulder blade off of the animal, I realized that yes, the elk was slightly quartered, maybe just a hair, but not much. As you can see, the exit and entrance wounds are pretty much straight across from each other. Doesn't look like it really reflected or deflected off of a bone. It may have a little bit, but I think the reason why I saw in that arm down below like that was because that elk probably took a step forward with its entrance side arm, which was the right shoulder, and that left shoulder was probably back just a hair because it had stepped forward with the right arm. Again, after talking with my daughter, seeing what she saw, because her perspective was a little different because she had a little different angle than I did on it, that's kind of what we came up with. So I think that's why I found the bullet in that arm, in the arm muscle, I should say, which is basically like the tricep on a human. That's why we found that there, I believe, because that left arm was back after she stepped forward with her right arm. Everybody, I want to thank you guys for watching our videos. We hope that you got some enjoyment out of it, some entertainment, and maybe a little education. Again, if you guys have results with this ammunition that you'd like to share, please put that down in the comments. I will also be doing a full video on how we process this. Again, it's not a full tutorial or how-to video, but you'll just kind of see the family working, my daughter coming in, my wife coming in, and how we process, and I hope it'll be entertaining and educational for you. So again, we hope to see you in our next videos. Thank you very much.